I'm going to show you guys 7 ways to use MaxTrax you didn't know. And if anyone claims to know all these 7, they're probably full of it, because there's no way that you would know all these 7. Now, many moons ago, or many years ago, I did do a 10 ways to use MaxTrax. Now, that was all your basic stuff and mainly to do with sand. These ones, folks, you won't guess them. All right, this one I learned just a couple of weeks ago. You're a person winching someone, you're trying to pull the other person out who's bogged or stuck. What you don't want is the anchor to be moving, especially when it's in mud. And we got some good shots here of Torben getting himself into a world of trouble. And I'm trying to pull him out. Now, the back end of my cruiser was starting to slide into the soft stuff. And it's the same in any recovery situation. Sometimes the vehicle trying to do the recovery is the one being pulled towards the vehicle or pulled sideways. So I'm going to demonstrate how we prevent it, but first, let's see the problem. We're going to show it on the sand right here, right now. As you saw there, folks, the vehicle is being pulled sideways. What I'll do now is the method to stop that vehicle from sliding, and I'm going to winch exactly the same as I just did then. Yep. Biggest use for recovery boards is actually at home in my driveway. As you'll see right now on the screen, I use them to park the vehicle because I have a steep driveway. Now also at the office, which I'm about to leave right now. Now another good thing about this is I can use this to help locate my vehicle. So basically when I park in a driveway I can stop from smashing into my garage door because this will... We appear to have a flat tyre, but there's a problem if you want to jack up the vehicle when you're off-road. Let me show you. All right, the problem is, flat tyre, we can't get a bowl jack underneath the vehicle.
You screw it down.
Well, if I screw it down, then once we lift it, we can't get it high enough, and I still can't even get it under because the tyre's flat.
Why don't you dig a hole?
Well, if I dig a hole, then we still can't get the car high enough to get a fresh tyre on it.
Just use a high lift jack.
Oh, for God's sakes. Not everyone carries a high lift jack, not everyone has a high lift jack, and not everyone can use a high lift jack. There's only certain areas on a vehicle and certain types of vehicles you can use a high lift jack on. And not everyone knows how to use a high lift jack. They're bloody dangerous if you don't. So the best way to do it is this. For MaxTrax or recovery boards is recommended for this method. If you only got 2, well, you can get some rocks and place them down to build it up and then put the tracks on top of it. If you only use rocks, which you can do, they're a bit unstable. It's actually quite difficult to get your car up on them. Tracks, nice, flat, stable, grippy surface. It's all about making life easier. Simply reverse onto the tracks. I mean, you're already crawling around in dirt and stuff. Might as well make your life a little bit easier. Jokes aside, in gear, handbrake on. Not that the handbrake does anything, because it's a Land Cruiser. And there we go. Look how much more room we got. Yeah, we do have to screw this down a bit, but we can get it under. Once you jacked your vehicle up, you can pull the tracks back out again, like your recovery boards. You can get rid of those, change the wheel. But here's a bonus tip. Once you get the wheel off and you put the next one on, you can actually use one of these to lever and locate the wheel onto the actual hub. It works a treat. Now, this method and the levering of the wheel method, we've done countless times. Trust me, it works so good. Just make life easy for yourself. Let's go on to the next one. Golf Motel Echo. This is on the darling, on the job. Now, when people think recovery boards, They mainly think they're only used on sand, but in actual fact, you can use them in river stones, mud, although in mud they get pretty damn heavy pretty quick, but in all different kinds of situations. Think outside the box when you have recovery boards. I've been in a situation before where we were sliding sideways into some cut trees.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And there were stumps everywhere. I've also been in situations where there's been a lot of stakes and it was on a section that we had to cross. In that case, think outside the box, use your tracks, whichever way, sideways, forwards, the correct way, whatever you want to call it. These will prevent you from getting staked tyres. So if you're in a situation like that, think outside the box, use these tracks. Also, say if you're crossing the beach, all the beach is washed out and you've got a lot of sharp reef, again, think outside the box, save your tyres.
I don't think they'll work as a stretcher.
Wait up. That says shovel on it. The problem here is you're driving super close to the edge of the sand and you're risking of collapsing it, or even worse, tipping the car over. So what do? Here's a solution. So this is a trick I learned when I was in North America observing some beavers. And I call it the dam wall. We have a ridge here. Now, on your screen right now, we'll explain it much better. We're in a situation, we've been in that situation a couple of times where we were risking sliding off the edge, down the hill, into some trees, because we were at the edge of the sand dunes where there was a ridge holding us in. That was it. Now, when we put these tracks down, as you can see, it's going to take a lot to move the sand, as opposed to no dam wall, you just slide through. So imagine that with a 3-ton vehicle. Your back end's going to slide in and you're going to be there all day trying to pull yourself out. I told you that was a damn good one. Now you can do it with 2 tracks as well only, but there's a lot more work involved. You've got to keep moving. 4 tracks is definitely better. 8 tracks, fantastic, because we had 8 tracks that time. 2 vehicles, 8 tracks in total, works good. But what if you have a flat surface near an edge? You can use the max tracks if you absolutely have to drive that stretch, because it will spread the load, but you're still risking yourself. Here's one that not many people think of. When you are winching or snatching, you can use your recovery tracks as well. It will drastically reduce the amount of effort needed to get the vehicle out of a bog, regardless of it's sand, mud, whatever it is. If you use your recovery tracks, it'll make everything so much easier. So think outside the box. You got them there, you might as well use them. Normally with max tracks you would have them placed like so, but in some situations where the sand is ultra soft, these tracks will disappear on you, especially in mud. What you can do to prevent yourself from losing the tracks is put one that way and then 90 degree the opposite way. That way when you drive over it, it'll grip onto this one and it'll be much easier to actually retrieve. This is only going to work though if you don't need all 4 tracks and all wheels. But just be warned, if you're in a really boggy situation or there's particular sand, like on your screen right now from Dirk Hartog, that's extremely soft, those tracks may disappear forever. Alternatively, you can put a strap on them. When you're in the heat of the moment, you'll probably forget to do that, like myself. And also, I can't find my straps anymore. I just use them how they are. They're sitting on the roof. I'm not gonna have the straps on the roof, so yes, you can use your straps, but I don't.